Okay, it looks like that we are ready to race some English SSX by Junior. Take it away.
Hi, I'm Junior, and I'm gonna be speedrunning SSX 2000 All Race Golds. With me today is Helix, if you want to introduce yourself real quick. They're Peter, of course. Yeah, I agree, of course. So, I'm going to be playing as Kiari. There are a couple optimal character choices, like you can choose Zoe, Elise, or Mac if you wanted to, but I'm just using Kiari because she's probably my favorite character in the game and also has balanced stats and a good start boost, which I'll explain later. So, for this category, All Race Golds, you have to play every track listed right here in the race, race section. It used to matter what order, but as of now, since there's been a slight rule change, you can play them in any order, and that's exactly what I'll do. I'll explain my routing as I go through. But yeah, I'm about ready to go. So I'll give a little countdown. 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, the first track is Mercury City Meltdown. I choose this track because it's pretty difficult and has a lot of tight lines and really difficult jumps and a shortcut that doesn't always agree with you. So you just kind of gotta make do. If you don't know this game, it's an arcade snowboarding game where the entire deal is to do lots of tricks so you can get boosts and use that boost in order to like go fast. Oh, that's interesting. Alright. It works. Usually you'll want to have red boost as much as possible, but unlike games like SSX Tricky or 3 where you can like do uber tricks in order to get infinite boost, it doesn't exist in this game, so the workaround is to just constantly do tricks and maintain red boost as much as you can. Coming up is oh yeah, I was gonna say yeah. Coming up is a pretty difficult section, so you can say some stuff to you, Helix.
Cool. Yeah, I'm Helix. Apparently I wasn't coming through, but I am now. Computer, it's a joke. Something that's really important in this game are the different types of terrains. There are sort of 3 main types of terrains. You have your regular snow. You also have powder, which is sort of like deeper snow. You sink into that more and it's a little bit slower. And then you have ice, which you accelerate faster on pretty much. There are also some quote-unquote bonus terrains of like rocks, which you skid on, and there are rails, which are generally pretty fast because you can go pretty fast on those. And there's also a speed boost power-up that will be grabbed in a few levels.
Alright, the start of the track hasn't gone the best so far because this track is pretty volatile, so that can happen. But that's alright, there are a lot of like backups and different routes you can take. I'm gonna try and cut back into a shortcut route that I was originally intending to take, where I would ride along the tops of buildings and reach about this section right here. And then I can just cut through these trees in order to go back to the main route.
Yeah, lots of these tracks are just kind of going wherever. Like, oftentimes the main path is not fast at all.
Yeah, you're basically trying to find the straightest line through, while also getting as little airtime as possible. Coming up right here is the first actual like select warp in the run. There are quite a lot of these. Let's see if I can get it. Yeah, that was too much of a jump. But normally what you do is go to the left right there and do a jump. That would send you roughly around here. Unfortunately, not the best start here. That was an accident. Yeah, unfortunately not the best start, but that's okay. It's generally the hardest track, so you know it happens.
Yeah, I mean that's why you start with it, because it's super hard.
Yeah, there are a lot of run-killing areas all throughout it.
Exactly.
This is the case for the next track as well, Tokyo Megaplex.
Yeah, this one's funny. You're gonna be used to a lot of these tracks being, you know, you go down the hill and you get to a finish line, but Tokyo Megaplex is actually 3 laps.
And each lap has a lot of RNG that can influence how a lot of like set pieces act. I don't know, like it might have been hard to notice, but there is only one other border. I have like only Hero, and the reason for that is this track.
Yeah, the other snowboarders can toggle like switches and stuff that affect this track, and we don't want that to happen because it's just RNG, you know, stuff that you're not always prepared for. So the fewer AI snowboarders you have on the track, the better.
Yeah, that big fan in the beginning is the first instance of RNG because, or here's another select where you do all 3 laps. But that fan can send you to the left, center, or right as you exit, and it can also either send you on a rail or not. So you just have to adapt to where it sends you and then react basically. And then you go through this pinball section right here where I'm doing a lot of tap boosting, and I can explain that really quick. So when I have a lot of red boosts and I want to like conserve my top speed when I'm already hitting top speed, I'll tap boost so that I keep top speed while using less boosts. And that's something I'm going to be doing a lot throughout the entire run.
There's also some weird parts with this track in which you can just get a lap skip sometimes.
Yeah, it happens randomly. Like, there are setups to get consistent lap skips that require you like turning around and back into the fan, but sometimes the fan itself can just like shoot you up and then it'll say 2 laps remaining out of nowhere.
Yeah, this track is funky. So is the game.
Yeah, it's an interesting game. Very messy in a lot of ways, but it's a lot of fun and definitely one of my favorites. Another thing about it is how it has a lot of big hitboxes, like especially for like environmental set pieces. There are a lot of things that like it might not look like you touch, but then you'll actually see your character tumble and fall over. You just kind of have to get used to it.
And that's only compounded by the fact that there are like doors that can turn into you and stuff like that.
Yeah, these bumpers right here
pop up in your face.
Those bumpers I just rode through that were down, the AI can mess with those, which is, again, the main reason for only 2 borders. You want to prevent that as much as possible. You can actually, like, for the IL, go into 2-player mode, and if you have 2 controllers set up, have the second controller control the second person, so it reduces AI.
Oh, that's allowed. Okay, sick.
Yeah. It was more recently discovered by Kellycat, who's like the god of SSX and like does a lot of ILs for like the entire series. But yeah, that's Tokyo Megaplex, and up next is Mesa Blanca.
Also known as 50/50 Rail. If you listen, you'll hear why.
Yeah, Rozelle, the announcer, he likes to say that a lot in this track because you're riding on a lot of rails, and oftentimes you'll ride them 50/50. He likes to repeat every trick you do and hype you up when you do really cool stuff, but also berate you when you mess up. It keeps things fun and interesting.
So this track, as you can see, there's lots of trees and rocks, pretty tight lines to avoid all that stuff.
Yeah, that's basically the entire track. Like, lots of tight lines, trees, and rocks. And right here, you'll hear that a lot.
Yeah. 50/50 Rail. What the heck? You just stuck to the billboard. Okay.
Yeah, that's enough distance of like the big hitboxes. It just clipped me toward like downwards because I touched it.
That like sucked you in. That was so strange.
Yep, we get used to stuff like that. This select word is not really like, it's one I found. Still kind of like working out whether it's like good or not, but like it doesn't really give me any bad cases, so I use it anyway.
You're also getting a really good example on this track of why rails are fast.
Oh yeah, for sure. This track shows it off really well. That rail is very hard to land on though because of the jump you have to do to line up for it. So I'm not really that like upset about failing it. It happens.
So, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it's a good time for any messages from that.
Yes, actually.
Far, no new donations have came in, but there's still just a bit more time to meet both the I'm Going to Die and I Don't Eat Sushi, I love that name, the live voice acting cutscenes that's still set to $50, and there's Axe Battler, the dramatic reading of the intro and outro, which is set to $100. So we got 5 hours for sushi, and you got 8 hours for Axe Battle. And there's also a low redemption character choice bid war for Santa Claus, for 30, God's One, which needs some love, and Shovel Knight is currently. There's a little bit more time before you
Cool.
get those donations in.
Thank you, Bees. Also remember that you can donate 2 goals in bid wars at the same time.
Oh.
You get double value out of your donation from on Tiltify. It's awesome.
Oh. Yeah.
That's pretty sick.
Do that.
So we are now moving into Elysium Alps, which is the longest track in the game.
By far, the second longest track at the highest level. It's not in this category. It's untracked, and like the world record for that is 242.94, I believe, by Kelle. In comparison, his world record on this track is 308. So it's like almost 30 seconds longer, roughly. Here's a select warp to start it right off.
Yeah, the stage has 3 select warps, which is the most of any track in the game.
It's also pretty
select
tech.
warps anyway.
And it's also pretty like dense with like tech in it, like lines where you like really need to like focus on making sure you take them well at the highest level. And the speed boost right here. I'll try to take jump so I can just go right here. Then coming up is a small example of bunny hopping, which isn't really like that prevalent in like the main category of all race modes. But you can jump through powder like this in order to like make sure your board stays above the ground and maintain max speed.
Yeah, super useful. Remember what I said earlier, that powder will slow you down. Basically just snow.
And coming up is another select word. And now I just jump to the bottom of that short, that jump instead of having to take the whole thing.
Something that a lot of people probably don't pick up on when watching this game. I certainly didn't pick up on it, really at all until you told me, was that if you are in switch stance, so normally snowboarders have a preferred stance, regular or goofy, but if you are in the opposite stance to what your rider prefers, you will spin and flip more slowly. At least flip, actually, I don't know about spin. But super subtle thing that can come up sometimes and can kill runs.
I'm gonna try something pretty risky. Let's see if I can hit it. Oh. Nah, not quite. If you take that turn right there, you can get a much tighter select warp instead of like an older way to do it that just sends you right about here and saves about a second since you don't lose any of your boost. I got the right area, but I wasn't far forward enough. But like just getting in there at all is pretty difficult. That's okay. And coming up is basically just a lot of straightaways, which is going to be a good time for more messages, if there are any.
So far,
Yeah.
still no new donations in, but my best announcement right now is just keep coming. This run is really awesome, really interesting. I do like the PS2 type of energy. But in any case, just be sure to keep supporting, just keep being awesome, just keep doing everything, whatever, supporting Lead, supporting the amazing people, SS4C, and of course, the amazing runners who are just putting on really good shows.
Lead is awesome. I remember when we did Cozy-thon, we also supported Lead, and one of Lead's staff members got in touch with us during the marathon, and I think I eventually came up for an interview, just sort of completely impromptu. They just got in touch with us during our marathon. They heard about it as it was happening.
That's amazing.
Super cool people, super good charity. Definitely donate if you have the means.
From here, we go into Snow Dream, which is, although it's the first track in the game and designed to be like one of the easiest, at the top level, it's pretty hard because there are a lot of like tight lines, like Mesa Blanca, and like tight rails. So you'll see me going for a lot of jumps onto like specific rails. Hopefully I can get some of them. But that is basically the entire track. A minute and a half of like rails and like tight jumps.
This is also the second to last track in the run.
That's true. After this, all that's left is Aloha Ice Gem. Yeah, right there, that's when I unfortunately messed up. But it's not devastating because there's this backup rail right here.
I love, how it's actually optimal to go right on, that little barrier rail sort of thing. I don't know, it's really cool to me.
It's very cool. In fact, so cool that I'm going to try it again right here. Oh, no. That's okay.
Oh, you got, no height.
Yeah. And right here, I'm just gonna cut through the side. Track wants you to, go across the, written path, but, I don't really feel like it, so... I'm just cutting right through here and using some bunny hops to maintain as much speed as I can. And I'm doing the same thing here. Oh, I was too far to the left, so I couldn't get on that last rail either. But that's okay. That's about the end of this track.
The rails have been a bit mean to you today.
Yeah, it happens. You have to get used to it with this game especially because the rails hitboxes are much bigger than any other SSX game that follows. So you can sometimes hit them even when you're not touching them at all, or you can just miss them and go straight through them. Just something you have to get used to.
I was gonna say, I've seen Junior on Tokyo Megaplex try to land on a rail and the game just says no.
Yeah.
This game is silly sometimes. But yeah, Aloha Ice Jam is the final track, so time will be coming up when Junior crosses the finish line on this track. It'll take probably about a minute and a half.
Yeah. But I'm going to try another risky thing right here. I'll probably try it a couple times. See if I get it. I'll explain it if I don't get it. Never mind.
Yeah, second try is huge for that.
That's amazing.
That still saves time second try, right?
Yeah, I believe so. It should save a second or two second try. Because what that does is I flip through, I run through the glass and the side of the wall. And if you run through a very specific spot, you can just go straight through the entire thing. The game will just push you forward, probably just because it gets confused on where you're colliding and with what. So you do that, and even though it's incredibly difficult, it saves optimally, I'd say about 7-8 seconds, or something like that, because you're skipping an entire winding circular path.
It looks so funny watching people do IL attempts in this track because they just throw over that wall.
Yep.
If you don't know what's going on, it looks hilarious.
And this tiki path is going cleanly as well. Perfect. Oh,
Oh,
that's okay. Let's still got through the shortcut area. So right
I'm
here,
coming up very soon.
there's one more select warp, and then it's basically just a straight path for 5 seconds, and then time. Right here. And time. Yeah, 127. It's not bad.
It's pretty solid.
Yeah. So that's SSX 2000 all race goals for you. The start wasn't the best, but that's totally fine. I'm glad I at least got to show off the wall clip and show off, in general, why I enjoy this game so much and why it means so much to me and why I find it so satisfying to play in general. And generally speaking, I'm just glad to be able to be here to like support this cause, really. I have a couple shoutouts I want to make real quick. The first one being Helix themselves for convincing me to even like submit to marathons in the first place. This is only like my second one ever, and like I'm still new to it all, but like it's a lot of fun to me, and I'm glad that I was able to like find the courage to put myself out there for it.
You're good at it. I'm glad you're submitting to things.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. I also want to give my shoutouts to Kellycat for helping me even like learn this game, and honestly the entire SSX community for just being like a really nice niche community. Not a lot of us out there, but like the people that are there are very kind, very like supportive, and really care about the franchise, and I think all of that's what really matters. I would also like to shout out all of my friends for like constantly supporting me, even if there are times where I feel like I might doubt myself or second guess myself. I'm like blessed to say that I have a lot of good friends that are always there for me, so I'm very grateful for that. And I also want to shout out the Speed Stuff for Charity staff for setting this all up in the first place. I think it's pretty sick.
For real, it's
yeah.
Depending on time zone, it's about 4 a.m.
5
in North
here.
America right now. Yeah. So shout out to all of the staff, especially those who are up and working right now.
For real.
Despite being tired, they're helping put on a good marathon for a good cause.
Doing a lot behind the scenes, and that can't be understated.
Junior, where can everyone find you on Twitch?
You can find me at twitch.tv/junior_SM. Usually I'll be streaming either this game, going for like PBs, maybe sometimes with record attempts. I'm also learning SSX3 right now, and also SSX Tricky is also something that I'm like trying to get better at. And I also speedrun Crash Team Racing as well on the side. So I really like retro racing games, you could say. That's basically my niche. But yeah, thank you for having me here, and I hope the rest of the event goes well.
I'm Peter.